Welcome to The Terrible Take, a daily segment telling Steeler Nation what's on our minds. I'm Melanie Friedlander. As the Pittsburgh Steelers return to Latrobe this week to open the 2022 training camp, the first thing the players will do is check into their not very luxurious dorm rooms at St. Vincent College. Soon after that, they will be required to participate in the dreaded conditioning test in order to be cleared for team practices. Any player who fails the test will be held out until they pass it. The NFL conditioning test varies from team to team, but is typically designed to ensure that players have adequate endurance needed for the physical practices to come. Some teams, like the Baltimore Ravens, are known for particularly challenging conditioning tests. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin has been known to actually excuse some veteran players who train at the team facility in the offseason because he feels comfortable with their level of fitness. Both now retired center Maurkice Pouncey and defensive captain Cam Hayward have benefited from that consideration in prior years. Based on their performance, Tomlin's decision didn't have any negative impact on the team. And there was never a question about those players bringing full effort and commitment to every practice session. So what exactly is the conditioning test? It's not specified in any NFL policy, but is usually a series of sprints and jogs. In an interview in 2018, guard Ramon Foster described it as running 150s. He said the players sprint down the 100, jog the 50, and walk back 8 times. He says it like it's no big deal, but I'm pretty sure I would rupture something if I got off my Peloton and tried to do it. It's also not a secret. NFL players are given guidance and specific workouts in the offseason from the team's strength and conditioning coaches. Tomlin has preached offseason conditioning every year that he has held the job of head coach. So anyone showing up to camp unable to pass the test just earned a spot in the doghouse in addition to a seat on the bench. You might assume it's the big men that are most likely to fail the conditioning test, but Foster claimed that the linemen are never the issue. Looking at the team's history, he's mostly right. And around the league, the same is true. Skill position players like wide receivers fail more often than offensive and defensive linemen. With that said, most players pass soon after a failed attempt, and those who don't usually have injury issues that wind up derailing their training camp altogether. As Dave Bryan mentioned in his terrible take the other day, there is a good chance that, like last year, the Steelers may open training camp with 0 players on the PUP list. Assuming they all make it through the conditioning test, we will hopefully see all 90 of them in the first practice. That's my take. You can follow me on Twitter @GirlSurgeon. Check out The Terrible Take every day at 5 p.m. Follow us on SteelersDepot.com and check out The Terrible Podcast with Dave Bryan and Alex Kozora every Tuesday and Friday.